When the white South Africans come into America, will they become African American? What do you guys think? Because typically, no matter where you come from in Africa, when you get to America, whether you're from Ghana, whether you're from Liberia, whether you are from Tunisia, whether you are from wherever you are from, when you get here, because you are from Africa, you are of African descent, then you become African American once you arrive in America. So is that what's going to happen with them? What y'all think?
So y'all want me to believe Trump is putting America first by allowing white Afrikaners to be refugees to come here to these United States of America and be provided housing, a cell phone, food, diapers, all that. Meanwhile, we have veterans homeless. We have American taxpayers struggling. And you want me to believe he's not racist either, because God knows he's deporting undocumented taxpayers, okay? He's deporting babies who are 2 years old and can't fend for themselves, so they got to go with the family. They got deported, okay? Mind you, he's deporting people with visas who went through the legal process, but still getting rid of them. But we're going to invite these white Afrikaners here to America, and we're going to give you all the things you need. But he's not racist, and he's putting America first. That's the nation that I'm living in right now. That's the nonsense that you guys continue to speak, and the goalpost constantly moves. Y'all have no foundation of morals of anything. You don't.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into something serious, something real. White South Africans are now leaving South Africa and going to US as refugees. Wow, that's crazy. I believe they are escaping to safety, to comfort, to the so-called American dream. But is the dream really valid? That's the question they haven't asked themselves. Is the dream really valid? Because let's be honest here, the same dream has turned into a nightmare for millions of US citizens, for millions of white Americans. And here is a question that we have to ask ourselves. Or here is a big question that I'm asking today on this video. Where was the refugee status when black South Africans were suffering? Where was the refugee status when black South Africans were going through hell in the hands of white South Africans? Right now, white South Africans are saying that they are being threatened, they are being persecuted. That's not the case. The case is so different that we will talk on this video. But before we go deep down in this video, before I go down in my reaction, there is a number of clips I've gathered together of black Americans reacting to white South Africans moving to the US, giving them the real deal, giving them what is really in the ground. And it got to me, wow. I have seen white people reacting, but I want to give you only the reaction of black Americans. Black Americans reacting on white South Africans going to the US as refugees. I want you to watch these clips and then we'll come back here with more commentary from me.
So let me get this straight. Trump banned Muslims, caged black and brown kids, and called Haiti a shithole. But somehow he's rolling out the carpet for white South Africans, who, mind you, claim they're being oppressed by the very people that they oppressed for generations. This is not refugee policy. It's plantation nostalgia, dressed up as immigration reform. This entire push to rescue South African farmers is built on a narrative, not facts. Yeah, there's some violence in South Africa. Yeah, some white farmers have been attacked. But the majority of the victims, they're not white. And the attacks aren't racially targeted. They're part of a broader crime crisis. South Africa has deep issues, yes. But this ain't some ethnic cleansing of white people. This lie got amplified by conservative media, white nationalist forums, and people who think land redistribution is oppression, when really it's just justice knocking on the door. So let's be honest about what this really is. It's America offering comfort to people who feel uncomfortable with equality. That's it. Because these so-called refugees are being fast-tracked for protection. Black asylum seekers from war-torn nations are being detained, deported, and ignored. They're not being offered farms and safety. They're being offered ice and silence. This has never been about safety. It's about whiteness being treated like it's in danger anytime it's not in power. But here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to let people run from the consequences of apartheid, land here, and act like they're victims of a woke world gone mad. No. You don't get to gentrify racial trauma across borders. You don't get to weaponize your discomfort with progress and call it persecution. And if you're feeling displaced by land reform, good, because the land wasn't yours to begin with. So if you think Trump's weak attempt to play savior gives you the green light to come over here and start disrespecting people, think again, because the rest of us, we don't play like that. Go find you something safe to do, because bringing apartheid to a new zip code is the fastest way to find out this ain't the America you thought you were walking into. Stay safe.
The first group of South Africans escaping the genocide have now arrived in America. Now, whether there is a genocide in South Africa or not, it's a whole different story. I'm not really interested in that. But I do understand why these people are doing it, right? It's so appealing. Imagine going to America and the American government is going to pay for everything. They will take care of the whole bill. The idea of leaving South Africa with all the problems that it has now to the big America, the big, rich, and famous America. Sounds really appealing until you get there. You realize that all of it is all marketing, bro. I used to think so too, that, oh, America is all this and that, until I got there. I realized that it's a third world country, and you just left a much better country back in South Africa with high quality of food, high quality of living. In America, the jobs are obviously much more. There is no unemployment in America, really. So you will get a job, you'll be working, but you're gonna have to work 5 times as hard just to sustain and live a middle-class life in America. You're more likely gonna end up in debt, and also security is not really all that depending on where you live. It's also as dangerous as South Africa, basically. And you also have a whole set of problems. The food tastes like rubber. So unless you're desperate, I guess you would probably settle for the deal. But I can see this backfiring for those who have the options. A good number of people will return to South Africa. I can see this happening. Because right now it's kind of like, it's more driven by the Hollywood images that people have in their brains about America. Until you get there, you're gonna have to learn new things that you have never heard before, where you're wearing some rocks, or let's say you braid your hair as a white person, and then you suddenly see someone angry at you because that is considered cultural appropriation. These are only the things that you can find in America. So good luck to all you guys. But I feel sorry for you that you have to end up there. It's not as glamorous as you might think. There's a difference between America on screen in Hollywood, on social media, and America on the ground. I was shocked when I went there.
I just saw a video that Trump has brought in the white immigrants who are being poorly mistreated in their country, so he wants to save them. You Latinos for Trump, come to the front. Come to the front, you fucking disgraceful pieces of shit, you. What a fucking embarrassment you are to our people, to our culture, to our ancestors, who fought with their freaking lives against this very same regime that you got up, got dressed with your own right and your own free will, and voted for this fucking piece of shit president that's here now. And we all, as a whole, the Hispanic community, get looped in with you all. As, oh, your people voted for him because you want to be white aligned so fucking badly. You know that when Christopher Columbus went to put the island of Puerto Rico, I'm talking to Boricos right now. When he went to the island of Puerto Rico, he found the Taino people to be so warm and welcoming and giving that he went back to Spain and told the king, yo, give me 50 soldiers, I can take over the whole island. These people are giving to a fault. He went over there and captured all the natives, tortured, killed, sold, and raped the women. And you pieces of shit voted for the same type of motherfuckers. I'm so pissed. I can't even stop cursing. There's not even a word to describe what I think about you Latinos for Trump. There's no, because you are disgraceful beyond measure. And to get a pat on the head that you didn't even get. You're nothing more than a whore for a white man. And I'm talking to men and women alike.
Americans, I need you to lock in. I need you to lock in. The Afrikaners, the palm-colored, the really racist ones, are coming to the U.S. as refugees. They shut down the refugee program. Trump shut down the refugee program. But why are they coming? Y'all, stop getting distracted. 100 Americans versus 100 Afrikaners. 100 Americans, 100 Afrikaners. 100 Americans versus 100 Afrikaners. I swear to God.
Black people here, most of this was about the fact that the demographic changes in America were staring white folks in the face, right? That in America, white people are scheduled to become a minority in this nation by the year 2045. So what they're trying to do is to reverse some of that as much as they can so that they can extend the white majority in this nation further, right? So if they can expel 11 million or however many alleged undocumented people from Latin America from here, they will do that. If they can import more people from more white, countries like the Scandinavian countries, like some of those Eastern European countries my man Games and Drinks talks about, like some of those South Africaners who are coming here, they'll welcome those folks, but they're trying to mitigate the fact that in 2045 white people are scheduled to become a minority in this nation. This is why you get the push to get rid of abortion in so many Republican-led states. This is why you get the push for banning no-fault divorce, because they want to keep these women in marriages to make these women have babies, with white men and boost up their numbers. They are deathly afraid of becoming a minority because they are afraid of what they've done to minorities, the minorities will do to them. That is what we're facing.
So we do take refugees. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't heard, America is accepting refugees now, but not any type of refugee. No. We have a very specific type of refugee that we accept now in the United States under the Trump administration, and that is African refugees. Now I know what you're thinking, Lucas, what's the problem? African refugees, what's the issue? Well, no. It's not African refugees. Lineage of evil. I can't even make this up. This is the literal lineage of evil, okay? These are who these people are, and we are accepting them into the United States. Now, I just have a few issues, right? Because the first thing I was told is that, hey, America is full, all right? We don't want any more immigrants. As a matter of fact, we're kicking the ones who are working here out, okay? We don't want no more. Only America. America first. America first. And I find that a bit antithetical to y'all accepting now. It's, what's going on in Gaza with Palestine, what's going on with the Congo, what's going on all across the world, bro. Even the ones that we have here. You're telling me that what is needed right now, because Trump expedited this, just so we're clear, he expedited these white South Afrikaners to come here to the country. Now, the reason being is because of more racism. That's correct. Can you imagine the group of people who stole African land throughout generations are now upset that that land is going back to the rightful owners?
What?
What they are now claiming that as is racism. That's what they're claiming. They're claiming there's a genocide going on in Africa. Completely unfounded, baseless, just bold, overt lies. That's what they're telling. But there's a group of people in this country that can do no wrong. You know it and I know it. I'm not making it racial. I'm just making an observation, okay? Because it seems that the brown and black refugees, those aren't really asylum seekers, Lucas. They're lying about their asylum seeking. They're lying about the refugee status. But white South Afrikaners, well, we need to expedite them. We need to, hurry up and get them. I was told when it came to racism that, hey, Lucas, if you stop talking about it, it'll disappear. Isn't that what they told me? They love quoting Morgan Freeman, right? That's the quote that they got it from. Lucas, you have to understand, there is no racism. You got to lift yourself up by the bootstraps, okay? If you just put in the work and the effort, racism disappears, okay? There is no racism, all right? You're letting racism hold you back. Now, I don't know, But I feel like if that's a good enough message for us here in the States, why couldn't it be a good enough message for them in South Africa, huh? Why don't we tell these South Afrikaners, hey, lift yourself up by the bootstrap. Stop being a victim and be a...
Yo, I got a question. How long do y'all think these South Afrikaners or whatever gonna last? How long do you think they're gonna last there? Because I'm gonna get them, let me see, by 6 months they can be ready to go. Because the only reason they left because their country trying to make equality, so they have to, equality. And bitch, you all gonna come here as refugees, baby. Us Black Americans, baby, we don't play that shit. We need to play this shit with these white folks here, honey. That's why they trying to go back, quote unquote, make America great. But we ain't even letting that happen. So you come here for what? Good luck to you, because baby, we don't play that shit, baby. We have managers and CEOs up here. But welcome to America, baby.
Good morning. This is for the South Africans who are going to be entering the United States. This is just a public service announcement. I just wanted to make you aware that the Black people who were students during apartheid, we're grandmas and grandpas now, and we have the air of Gen Z. One more thing. I also want to let you know that our president, he has Secret Service, and you will not. I also want to tell you that Black people over here are empowered. These are just public service announcements. When you get here, sit your ass down and don't touch nothing, because you don't have Secret Service. Okay. Now have the day you deserve.
Yeah, this is for all you YT South Afrikaners that are being shipped in by Trump. You need to know the majority of Americans don't want you here. You just jump back on another plane and fly your little racist YT supremacist butts right on back to your country. Go back to Africa. We do not want your racist butts here. You are not welcome in the United States, and Trump is not going to be in charge forever. Yeah, you're not welcome here. We don't want any more Snazis in America. We're done. And we're the majority. MAGA wants you to believe they're the majority, but they are not. Just saying. Fly your asses to another country where they want racists like you, because you're not welcome here.
You know what just pissed me off? I was like, let me dig deeper, because I'm like, why are they bringing the South Africans over here? Because I just made a post and I was like, why are they bringing them over here? Why do they need to come here? They're saying they need refugees. Why? You know what the fuck they're coming over here for? Because they feel that they're being targeted due to their race and ownership of land. That they feel that they're a target because of the way that their government is structured. They're claiming that they face systematic judgment due to the black economy, due to the black economic empowerment. This is what niggas been saying in the fucking U.S. in America for centuries. And y'all gonna bring over them because they not getting treated right by the blacks over there in South Africa? You got to be fucking kidding. Y'all gotta be kidding me. Y'all better open up your fucking eyes. Trump is playing in our fucking face. Trump is playing in our fucking face. There is no way that they just allowed a whole bunch of South Africans to come over here because they're being discriminated against because of their fucking race. And because it's y'all, they're playing in our fucking face. They're playing in our y'all go ahead and Google why the refugees came over and sought refuge in the fucking United States. Go ahead.
Welcome back. You have heard the reaction from Black Americans. It's a little bit crazy reaction, as I call it. And let me come up with my reaction on these videos, because I have seen this. It's not good. When black people were going through shit, when black people were going through a lot in the hands of white South Africans, nobody cared. Nobody cared about it. And the real reason for me why Donald Trump is trying to play this good uncle card of taking white South Africans to the US, someone said he wants some racist people like him. I don't know. Tell me in the comment section. Is it true how some reaction have put it? Because I see there is no threat of white South Africans in South Africa. It's because there's a shift of power. That's why some of them are scared. Now, these 59 white South Africans who went to the US, is it because they are scared of the shift of power? Is it because they cannot live in this harsh condition where black people are in power? Now, let's talk about this idea of American or white South African going to America. Or let's talk about the idea of American dream. The idea of American dream is freedom, opportunity, success. It's all sound great. So great, right? But let's look at the truth on the other hand. I've seen white Americans coming to the social media complaining about how it's hard to live in America. So if they are the citizens of America and they're getting it hard to live there, what about the refugees? In America, if you don't have money, you are finished. You are finished. Healthcare will bleed you dry. Rent will shallow your paycheck. And don't even think about sending your kid to college without debt. Things are crazy. These videos we are doing here online, these videos we are doing on social media, where white people are complaining about the student debts, are complaining about the healthcare, it is real. These are real things. So I think it's like jumping from a smoke and stepping on fire, you know? So it's like creating more problem on yourself. When you talk about the job opportunities, are they going to take jobs from black Americans and give it to white South Africans? Or, in the other hand, will these white South Africans be called African Americans? There's something I don't understand. But when it comes to jobs, they don't care about where you come from or what you did back. You are starting over from zero. As a refugee from white South Africa or from South Africa, you are starting from zero. You don't have community. No one knows you. You are isolated. You will be invisible. Imagine you only 59 of you from South Africa trying to get this better life in Africa, in America. Who cares? Who cares? And personally, I think all this is just political. It's political. I don't see there is some positive motive on there. Now, you as white South Africans, being an immigrant, you are like any other outsider. Let's talk about that. You know, trying to fit on a system that was never built for you. Because the system that was built for you is the system in the South Africa. It's an African system. So, do you still think this as a paradise? It's not a paradise. It will be tough. Let's talk about Africa. Because the white South Africans have come from Africa. They once called Africa as their land. They once said they will never step their foot out of Africa. And it's true. Africa is their land because they have been born there. It's just like African American. African American, they have been born in America. They know the charms and everything in America. Now, we have got issues, no doubt, in Africa. We have got corruption issues, security issues maybe, poverty, inequality in some of the countries, not all of Africa. But we have got something the West doesn't have. And this something, it is in South Africa. Okay? So, in South Africa, we have got what? You know your neighbor. As a white South African, you know your neighbor, you know your people, you can hear your language, you can, you smell your food and you feel your culture as a white South Africans because you have culture, you got culture as Boers and everything that concerned. So there is a rhythm in our streets in South Africa that is not on the street that you are going on. There's a warmth in our spirit here back, a strength in your communities as what South Africans. I'm talking about you. So, if you are here in South Africa, you celebrate together, you grieve together, you survive together. But in America, it's another different stories. I talk to black Americans like you don't know your neighbor. Your neighbor can turn against you. For example, you are a black person and this neighbor is a white person. He or she can turn against you anytime. Now, another thing I want to talk about, in Africa, struggle is real, yes, but it's home. You know, struggling at home is better than struggling where you don't know. Now, here is where we need to speak the truth, because as I was going on the reactions of white people and black people, reactions of South Africans too, I noticed this. While white South Africans are now fleeing, are now seeking asylum, are now going as refugees. Let's talk about when we needed refugees as black people, as black South African. During apartheid, it just didn't separate us, black people. It crushed black South Africans. When you talk about being denied land, being denied education, being denied existence, we were not given seats on the economic sector, on the political sector. So black South Africans were arrested for walking in the wrong place, beaten for speaking up, murdered for demanding dignity. You get that? That's during apartheid. And where was the world then? Nobody came in aid of South Africa from America. Nobody talked about it. They talked it as a new era. Where was the refugee status on black or for black South Africans back then? It was nowhere. It was nowhere. No visas, no asylum, no escape. You be there, you suffer, you work for them, you beaten, you murdered, just like that. Where was the refugee status? Black South Africans had to stay and fight for the country. Black South Africans had to endure. Black South Africans had to rebuild brick by brick. You get that? So when someone says there's now a refugee because they're uncomfortable, when someone says that black South or white South Africans are now seeking this asylum in America because they are uncomfortable, understand this. We as black South Africans, I'm talking in general of as black South Africans, we weren't uncomfortable. We were oppressed. We were crushed down to the ground. No land, no school, no better jobs. At least these white South Africans who are seeking this refugee status to this American country, at least they still own the lands. They still have on those big status. They are still racist. They still have their own white spaces, you know. But black South Africans had no place to run. Now, here is the irony of escape. Let's talk about irony of escape. And the irony is hard to ignore. The very people who ran things for decades are now the ones who are trying to run away. The very people who oppressed the black people are the ones who are saying they are being oppressed. Now, in the US, no one cares about your old titles. No one sees you as privileged. You are just another immigrant. Unlike South Africa, yes, maybe you are poor white South Africans, but you are privileged. I know that. So in America, you might finally understand what it feels to be at the bottom, what it feels like to be misunderstood, what it feels like to be ignored. These white South Africans who are running away as refugees in the US, you will now understand the real deal, or how black people have been going through in the hands of white system. You will understand that, because that's what black people have been living for generations as immigrants. Now, maybe, just maybe, you will understand the weight black people have been carrying for decades. Just maybe. Okay? So, let's say this. Africa's problem. Understand, South Africa is not perfect yet. But neither is America. And running away won't solve the problem anyway. Or maybe they only took these 59 white South Africans to test waters. I don't know. Maybe it is testing waters, because I believe there's a number of white South Africans, a lot of them. So I think these 59 are just testing waters, because no matter where you go, you will face struggle. But here in Africa's soil, there's belonging. This is the motherland. There's identity, there's power. Africa is not a place you escape. It's a place you build. It's a place you rise from. And for us, Black South Africans, we never left. We never gave up. We stayed. We fought. And we earned the right shape of our future. You're seeing how the country is right now. I'm a Kenyan. But I can feel the depth of apartheid. I can feel the isolation back then. I can feel, because I cannot put myself in their shoes. I wasn't there. But I can feel whenever I close my eyes, I read the story, I watch the movies, I perceive it. I can feel how Black South Africans were going through hell and nobody was there to care about them. Nobody gave them the refugee status. Now, even Black Americans, they are going through hell. Africa is their home. But no one cares. From American side, they are making it hard for them to come back to the motherland. They are making it hard for them, very expensive for them to come to the motherland. So, the pain that Black South Africans have been going through, they endured it and take it on. Immigrants are not receiving any special treatment in the US. And you as white South African, do you think you can receive that privilege? No, it's never that easy. But it's maybe you will be given jobs for Black Americans, places for Black Americans. Maybe you will be treated well. You know, as I said earlier, it's political. And for you to play political cards well, you need to play as you are playing for the favor of the people you want them to see. That good uncle taking us to jobs. That good Uncle Tom. Now, thank for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think fleeing the US is a good deal for the white South Africans? Or do you think this is just another political scam and scandal? Do you think this is just showing us how racism or racist is the system? Do you think it was nice? Okay, tell him on the comment section about that video. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And again, for those who are sending me super thanks, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. Until next episode, peace out.